Well, I'm always on the prowl for a story. I'm always looking for stories in newspapers, magazines, TV, anywhere I go, lawyers' publications. Obviously, all dealing with the law, lawyers, trials, litigation, trends, all different aspects of the law. I never thought I would find a story in an obituary, and that's where the story of Ron Williamson came from. December the 9th, 2004, barely 2 years ago, in the New York Times obituary section. And I had just finished writing The Broker. I wasn't looking for a story in December. I finish every book by Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. That's the annual goal, the annual deadline. And I really coast through the holidays. I don't work a whole lot during the holidays. And suddenly I had this story that was extremely compelling. And as I soon realized, the obituary barely scratched the surface of Ron Williamson's tragic life. I practiced law for 10 years in a small town in Mississippi, and I had murder cases and all different types of criminal cases. And I never saw the police and prosecutors act the way they did in this book. They were pretty straight-up guys. And I think that's the case. That's the way it normally is. And I was astounded when I got into Ron's case and saw the sloppiness of the police and the inability, almost the willingness to ignore the real killer and pursue two men who were completely innocent. It opened up my eyes. The book opened up my eyes into the world of wrongful convictions, and it made me realize that there are a lot of innocent people in prison. Most police investigators and most prosecutors are honorable men who try to find the right criminals. But wrongful convictions happen all the time in our country, and so many of them could be prevented. Again, that's something I learned as I wrote this book. I mean, I went to prison and talked to some men who were innocent, and in the story, Ron's on death row for 12 years, completely innocent. His best friend across the hallway, Greg Wilhoit, spent 4 years on death row, and he was completely innocent. They support each other and probably, help save each other's lives. I'm not that optimistic, and I'm not that convinced that any book can be that important. What I hope will happen with this book, that happens occasionally with one of my books, people stop, think twice about the death penalty and the system that we have. I grew up in the Deep South and in Bible Belt, which is also the part of the country where they're so in love with the death penalty. It doesn't make any sense. And even as a lawyer, I support the death penalty. We're so sickened by violent crime. You want to fight back in some way. When I was researching the chamber in 1993, I went to death row many times in Mississippi, and I talked to the inmates and the guards and the executioners, and that's when I changed. That's when I realized it was not the right thing to do. I became morally opposed to state-sanctioned killing, and so this was I've felt this way for a long time. I would never have written the first word had I not been a lawyer. This was not a childhood dream. This is not something I thought about in college. It came, later in life. And if I had not been inspired by some stories that I had seen or been around or heard as a lawyer, I would not have had the inspiration to write. The stories came first. So the law was crucial and still is crucial. It pays off now every day because I understand the system, the procedures, the law, and so I write a book like The Innocent Man. I don't sweat the legal stuff. I often think, what would a non-lawyer do with a book like this? you'd have to do a lot of research and doing what a lot of authors do is hire a legal consultant to help them walk them through the minefield of the law. I don't think twice about it. It just comes natural. So it saves me a lot of time, and more importantly, it gives me the inspiration for the books. I love to watch trials and read about trials and lawyers and law firms and litigation. It's just good stuff, and the books sell, so I'll keep doing that.